Okay guys, I'm going to begin to show you how to create stars in a galaxy. And I started out by creating some halo effects. And I also made one bigger that we can turn actually into a planet if you want. So for the planet, I'll start with that. I scrubbed out a larger circle, and now I can come back in and apply paint. You can use a grid or a template if you want to make a perfect circle. But I'm just going to use my techniques that we already learned. So there you go, I made a little planet. If you can tell, what I did was when I scrubbed out the circle, I painted all the way to the edge of where I scrubbed out here, but on this side I left a little white edge. And I'm gonna zoom in so you can see it. And right here, it just gives it a little bit of a different glowy effect. It makes it look more realistic. Now we'll get to the star part. So like I talked about before, supplies, you really can use pretty much anything that's white. If you have acrylic white, just water it down with a little water. If you have gouache, same thing, water it down with a little water. I use this acrylic ink, and I'll show you the consistency of it. And you can see my cup gets a lot of use. It's about the consistency of like heavy cream. So it's pretty watery, which is good for making stars. And you don't need much of it. I've just squeezed out just a little bit. So I use that when I do the glowy stars, so I'll show you that. Then for the little pinprick stars, I've seen a lot of people that scrub, like they'll take a toothbrush or a paintbrush, put it into white paint and just flick it. I can't do that. It never works for me. So sorry, but I can't teach you that one. I use the pen method. So my favorite is the Posca white paint pen. I've also found these recently. They're Sharpie water-based pens, and this is the extra fine. I got them on Amazon. It works spectacular. You can also use gel pens, these Signos, Ranger, there's all sorts of white pens now. And all I do is I make some that are a little bigger. So I'll make some little rounds, and then some I just dot. So I like having the variation of some bigger, some smaller. And I put a lot of stars, you can put just a few. This is really your design choice. And now I'm going to show you how to create the burst star or glowy star effect. I'm going to grab my super teeny tiny brush. This is what works best for this process. This is a 20/0 and it is by Silver, but any brand will work. You just want to make sure it's pretty small. I get it a little wet. I dab it off a little bit. I go into my white acrylic ink, I pull some out, and as you can see, this is my method for kind of pulling some of the paint off. You want to make sure you have just a tiny bit of amount on the brush tip. And then all you're doing is going over your glow. You'll make one line going that way, one line going this way, and then two smaller lines going this way. And then I like to put a little dot right in the middle. All right, there you go. It's amazing how much it transforms just by adding stars. And I know it can be difficult when you first start out to keep your hand steady. This is nothing more than practice. My hand is no different than yours, I promise. It just takes practice, so keep at it. I know you can do it.